Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Christine with Powder Crafts, and today we are on day 8 of the 13 days of Halloween cards. So I am trying a different setup for the camera. It is not on my desk, but unfortunately my desk is not very sturdy, so there is some shaking anyway, and because of the camera angle, there's a little bit more zooming in and out than I would have liked. But anyway, so if that's going to drive you crazy, you probably want to shut this video off. This is a really cool card. It's really fun. You can see it on my Instagram. But I just apologize for some of the zooming in and out. So this card's one I have been thinking about for a very, very long time, but I have not executed it because it is extremely time consuming. I think I spent over 2 hours making this card between die cutting, coloring. A lot of the images though, like I'm using, were already colored. Sometimes when I am in a crafty funk, I will color images and just put them aside for later use, which is what I did for most of the images that I'm using today. So this is my background. I have a moon there, so I cut a circle from some white cardstock and went ahead and adhered that, and then I used a cloudy stencil to put on different colors of distress ink. I'll leave the colors listed in the description below. And I'm using some images from the Newton's Nook, Newton's Perfect Pumpkin, to make some bats and some spider webs. For the moon, I used a warm gray Copic marker to add just some dots to the moon, and then I used some antique linen distress ink to just kind of give it a little bit of color. Here I'm using a Rolling Hills die from My Favorite Things to create like a little fence in the back of the scene. I did cut out 2 because my card panel is bigger than usual today. I will have the exact measurements listed below. So I cut out the fence, and then I cut out the fence with green to get the hills. I couldn't figure out which way this needed to go. I think that I put the fence on backwards or whatever. I'm making it work. I'm just kind of going in and filling in these hills, and then I'm going to just trim the panel down. I'm going to trim the panel down before I put on this grassy border piece. So I take a little bit from the bottom and both the sides. I did not want to take anything from the top, and because I trimmed it down, I need to now trim down my original card base, which was 9 inches long by 4 1/4 inches tall. So I need to remeasure that so I can tell you exactly how big it is now. So now I am making the Happy Halloween banner. I have this teeny tiny little tag die that I cut out enough to spell out Happy Halloween, and I made a couple extra just in case I made an error. So I also have these teeny tiny little square alphabet stamps, and I'm using those to spell out Happy Halloween. They're all mixed together, so I'm just kind of grabbing letters that are in Happy Halloween and then just stamping them as I find the stamp. So there's no really rhyme or reason to which I am stamping out all of these letters. I am using some Memento Tuxedo black ink to go ahead and stamp those. And that is it. Happy Halloween. So now I'm bringing my panel in, and I'm going to be using some orange and black baker's twine. Something I've picked up recently, and I haven't had a chance to use it yet. So I thought it would be great for making my little banner. Now, I wanted to have it have a little bit of a curve, but I couldn't get the twine to stay like how I wanted it, so I just put down a little bit of tape runner right there. Eventually it gets covered, that little area gets covered. And now I'm putting my little banner pieces in a way to just see how they're going to fit on here. So I am popping all of these up on some foam tape. So I decided to do the Happy Halloween this way because if you've watched in the series, you know that I use the same stamp set for stamping Happy Halloween. And I really wanted to try something different. And I had these little alphabet stamps, so I thought that'd be a great way. This is actually the first time I'm using them, and I've had them forever. So it actually worked out really well with this super tiny little tag die that I have. So I might take those out a little more often to make maybe banners for things that I want to say for sentiments, but I don't necessarily have the sentiment. So for Halloween, I did start all the way on the right and work my way to the middle, and then for the happy, I'm working my way all the way from the left towards the middle. I am hoping that I have enough in the middle, enough space to add this pumpkin to just separate the words, which I did. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that pumpkin on some foam tape. Now, because of the twine, I am going to use some fun foam to adhere my panel to my card base. When using fun foam, I have the kind that is self-adhesive on one side, but not the other. So on the non-adhesive side, I just use tape runner, and I use that on the card panel because if I use the other side, sometimes it kind of bends the panel a little bit, and it's not as flat as I want it to be. But if you put it on the card base, it works out really well. It's just really, really sticky. So here I'm trying to figure out where to put my little trick-or-treaters because some of them were taller than others, and I wanted to make sure that you could still read my banner that I spent all that time on. Now, if you notice, my little trick-or-treaters are just different My Favorite Things characters from different stamp sets because I don't really have any Halloween dedicated stamps. So I thought it would be fun to use these little images instead for our trick-or-treaters because, hey, they're in costumes, right? Let's get the little ballerina, we have the astronaut, we have our pirate, and our Superboy. So I am now adding a bunch of pumpkins to the back of all of our little images. Now I couldn't fit my little mummy girl on there, so I'm going to add her to the inside. And I had another one of these grassy pieces, so I'm going to add that to the inside and add our mummy. Now I decide I need to add some finishing touches, and I use a black gel pen for the eyes. On that first one there, it kind of, I don't know, burped a little bit, but anyway, it doesn't look too bad. Adding some wink of Stella to all the little parts that I want to be a little bit shiny. And that is it, guys. That is day 8. I thought this was really fun. If you liked this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more and you're not already, hit the subscribe button. But until next time, bye.